is now 3 minutes after 10. This is a first quorum call of the City Council. I'd like to ask all council members who are in the building if they could please come to the council chambers. We will be losing a quorum at 11:30. We will be doing city business first, followed by presentations this morning. So if council members could please report to the council chambers as soon as possible. Thank you.
It's 10 o'clock. It's time for the council to be in session. Will the council members please come to the council chamber? It's 18 minutes after 10, and we still don't have a quorum. Mrs. Pick is here. Mr. Hernandez is here. Mr. Sikowski. Mr. Savarnich. Mrs. Walters. We have 6 members present. We need 4 more for a quorum. Sergeant, would you go see if you can round them up? Mr. Fuhrer, Ms. Goldberg, Mr. Holden, would you please come to the council chamber?
Mr. Hernandez said he can get started with his
Okay,
presentation if you'd like him to.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. Would the council please come to order? Let me point out that this is a meeting of the City Council for the City of Los Angeles on the 23rd day of September, the year 2000. There are 15 council districts in the city. The regular meeting days are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We are currently being viewed by cable television on Channel 35, and we're also being monitored by council phone. We do have some presentations, and so I'm going to call upon Mike Hernandez to start.
How you doing, Mr. President, members of the council? Welcome back, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mike.
Missed you. Mr. President, members of the council, before I start my presentations, I just wanted to introduce an organization who's present today. The organization is ASOSAL, the Association of Salvadorians in Los Angeles. Where are you guys? I guess they're in the back. Right there. And in case a lot of people don't know, ASOSAL basically does a lot of different things in our community besides participating in some of the cultural events. They're currently holding together a conference in Los Angeles, and they brought doctors, novelists, columnists, and poets and professors to discuss the Salvadorian community in Los Angeles, its cultural identity, as well as some of their cultural links. Again, welcome and thank you for your work. My first presentation, members of the council, is not a new one, but I think it's a timely one. In the past, we have honored the LA Aztec Fire Crew, and I think it was Council Member Alarcon who first started. And LA Aztecs basically is part of our LA Bridges program, and it's a program that was started by the U.S. Forest Service and the President of the United States. Basically, what a lot of people don't know about the program, and I don't know where that other sheet is, the fire sheet, is that there was a program called Called When Needed, and it was an administrative directive that basically put together some temporary employment opportunities for young people, basically who were referred to the program. And what these young people were, they were trained with firefighting skills, and basically were put on call whenever needed. The particular group that I'm honoring today just came back from fighting the fires in Plumas, California. And this is, again, young people from Los Angeles, primarily the east side, who've been trained to fight fires. And, you know, when I was looking at their training assignments and the kind of work they do, it's amazing because, you know, they have to be ready to be delivered by helicopter. They got to go through long hikes, carrying heavy backpacks. They have to cut down trees, clear fire lines, and operate with other firefighting equipment. They're required to leave LA on a moment's notice. They've helped fight fires not only in California, but Oregon, Washington, Utah, Colorado, Montana, New Mexico, Nevada, and Arizona. The Fire Aztecs have over 100 fire suppression assignments under their belt. And again, as we're talking about the fires going on throughout the United States, we need to remember that this opportunity, these young people were fighting a lot of fires in their neighborhoods. And that's how they got recruited. It's part of a gang intervention program, and it works. And we're real proud of them. I'd like to call up Mike Jaramillo right now to say a few words about the program. And he was the founder, one of the founders back in 1994. And Mike?
Thank you and good morning. I've been here for the last 7 years getting certificates for the Aztecas. But every year, we're always looking for the same thing, always looking for funds, seed monies that we could continue keeping them working, because the fire season's over in October. We have 6 months of them doing nothing at home or looking for a job. What I'm looking for is funds that we could continue with the Aztecas, and they could continue working all year round and getting some type of medical for themselves and their families. So if I could get the support of the council with monies that we could use, because we're working with their districts, a lot of their districts in the area. And at the same time, I'm working right now at the time trying to get Proposition 12. And as soon as that comes through, we're going to need all the support we can to try to take some of the monies and use it in the communities. So I would thank you if you could give me whatever support you can. Thank you.
And next, I'd like to call Edgar Hurtado, who is the intervention specialist and the program director with the Public Health Foundation. Edgar.
Thank you. First of all, I just would like to thank Mike Hernandez for recognizing us, and I would like to introduce two of the persons, a female and a male, that started with us. They were trained by us, and now they went to fight fires, and they would like to express their feelings towards the program. Luzma Alcaraz and Juan Chavez. Come in.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the council, and my name is Juan Chavez, and this is my first year in the program. And for what I could tell you guys about this program is that, like you said, when you give someone a chance and an opportunity, to do something or keep them busy, it has been proven that by doing this, people are not, I'm not saying doing bad things, but they're occupied. And programs like these are needed, and I think with funds that, they can give into us, we could expand and, just grow more. And I would also like to comment that programs like these also teach you a lot. I mean, discipline, responsibility, commitment, and those are things that I think all of us, whether it be moral or something else, I mean, they do help you out, and especially when you're in a fire, because I mean, just like you guys prepare yourself for a speech or just to come up here and, have a meeting and try to come to an agreement, that's also very important when we're out there, because I mean, there's 20 heartbeats out there, and we go up there, we hike to a fire, and we're constantly facing dangers. I mean, something goes wrong, a fire blows up, but ambers fly, and something could, I mean, we can't make it home, and we have families. So I think, like I said, when you give someone an opportunity, and you have funds, to back them up, and that really helps a lot. And like I said, hopefully we'll continue to grow and expand and just take it from here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Luzma Alcaraz, and this is my first season in the Aztecs. What was left for me to talk about was really the outcome, the before and after of a person that goes through the Aztecs, through the whole program. It's real easy. It doesn't take a genius to do it. Just pretend you're in the street. You hang out with your friends, what you call your friends. You do drugs. You have nothing. That's what you've been doing for many, many years. That's just you've been doing that for years, and you know nothing else. Just bad, just the street. And you want out. You finally decide you want out, but you don't know how to get out. You try to get a job somewhere, and you can't because you have a criminal record. You're on parole. You probably have 2 or 3 kids out there, but you don't know how to get out. That's just what you were raised. Finally, you find this program that the United States Forest Service offers, and you go through it. You go through the whole process, and you're there, and you just learn many things. You realize that this program could offer you careers. You could go through many, many different things, and you learn discipline, responsibility. You learn everything. You like it. You decide you wanna go home and train hard and be the best you can for it. Take advantage of it, and that's what you want to do. That's what you plan to do. You want to take advantage. You want to take this program and use it to your benefit. You get home, and what happens when you get home? There are your friends waiting for you. You go back to the same thing. You're back on doing dope, doing everything. And you do this waiting for the next assignment to come, waiting for them to call you for the next emergency. And what happens when you go back? You decide, you realize that you're back at where you started. You're back down at where you started. I mean, I think that if we find some kind of way to get a person out of doing something in between programs, doing something better to, I mean, you want to work hard. You want to work hard no matter what. Who wants to go out there and do all this labor work? I mean, I'm sure none of you guys might want to be working with your hands, doing, like, picking up trees, using tools and just doing hard work. I'm sure you probably want to be sitting at an office, but most people right here, they don't. They want to work hard. And I mean, we need programs out there that could help us, people, maybe help us in between assignments, something like trail work, helping train other people, other young people to go hiking, do something to get their minds off it, and because they need extra push. They need that extra push. Some of us do need it. And maybe I know you guys could do it and help the community, because we want to give back to what we have taken. Some of us do. And that's it. Thank you.
Just one last thing I would like to, for the council members here today, I would like to present them with an Aztec hat, especially to Mike Hernandez.
Thank you.
And to other council members, if I could.
Pass them on.
Pass them on.
Why don't you have some of the young people do that? Oh. Thank you, Edgardo. Members of the council, I have a certificate here, and I have one for each and every one of the LA Aztecs. We'll be giving them to you in the press room, where we get to take some pictures together. And this is a certificate of tribute, and it's in recognition of outstanding citizenship activities enhancing community betterment. And it's to the Aztec Fire Crew. And we award the certificate of tribute as an exemplary effort of accomplishments which have been of great value to our community and to the city of Los Angeles, and which has helped us to further the common goal of making our city a better place in which to live. And with that, I'd like to present it to Edgardo and Mike. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And before I let them go, I wanted to point out particularly to Councilmember Fuhrer and Councilmember Misikowski, if Councilmember Mark Ridley Thomas was here, as we're dealing with the ad hoc committees on gangs and intervention, dealing with prevention programs, and I, who chair CDD and deal with the human service delivery system, there's a reality. Today we'll be, for example, voting on a grant the LAPD is asking for support on an application. All these programs, none of them work with the Aztecs. What happens is we tend to piecemeal dollars for them as council offices, and we've never had an organized effort to put a program together where they could serve an ongoing role for the city of Los Angeles, whether it be working with the Conservation Corps or working with the Department of Water and Power. And because of the comments made by Mike Jaramillo, I'll be introducing a motion to that effect. What you heard today from these young people is they want to serve, and they want to be able to do their job. They want to work on their self-esteem, and they want to be able to be role models. But they only get to do it on a part-time basis when there's a fire, and they're called upon, and then they have to go back to the streets. And so we can design a program not only to create opportunities for them year-round, and as well as expand it, I think we'd be doing a tremendous good for our city. And so I will be working on such a motion, and I just ask for your support. When we found that extra money for gang intervention or gang prevention, the reality is we disseminated it through the school district. That doesn't work through with the Aztecs. And so we have to figure out how to get them in the loop, and that'll be our immediate challenge. And I just wanted to share that with each and every one of you. That's what this presentation was about, not only recognizing them for their work, but hopefully to stimulate some activity on behalf of the city. So again, thank you very much, and I'll be with you guys in a few minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. And I do believe you have a second presentation?
Yes, I do. I have two more presentations, and yeah, or follow Fred. I need the other two certificates, Fred. Oh, Tom has them. Good. Mr. President, members of the council, I thought, one, in recognizing the Aztecas heroes, we'd also recognize two other community heroes that have been important to the First Councilmanic District. Today, I have 281 days left in public office, and I've know individuals out there in the community who continue to do great work. And I keep on saying I'm not going to leave the district. I'm going to continue to live where I live, and they're going to be doing the same things they do for whoever takes my place. And so I thought I'd start recognizing community people who make a difference in the First Councilmanic District. The first person I want to call up is Mr. George Poon, who's the Executive Director of the Chinatown Senior Service Center. George, would you please come up?
Thank you.
First of all, George started with the Chinatown Senior Service Center in March of 1980, and he's brought numerous programs to the center. To this day, many of the programs continue to serve and benefit the lives of our senior citizens in the area. Among the programs initiated by George is the mobile postal service, the MTA Senior Bus Pass, that must have a lot of customers today, housing information and location services, nutrition counseling, health education forums, blood pressure monitoring programs, English as a second language, a legal aid clinic, and many others. But the program that came to mind to me was the Senior Citizen Employment and Training Program, because this program has helped hundreds of senior citizens continue in a productive role in society by placing them in the private sector. That's why George has made a difference to the First Councilmanic District and to the city of Los Angeles. He continues to work with the seniors. He makes sure that I'm aware of them. And he cares a lot about them. And I seem to see George every place in Chinatown. So again, George, for being one of the heroes of the First Councilmanic District, I wanted to, one, give you a certificate of tribute and a Heart of Los Angeles pin.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. And my next one is for someone real special. He must be real upset at me. Every time he calls me to go to his neighborhood watch meeting, I seem to have a conflict. But I want Ken to come up, Kenneth Erheim. In my district, and Councilmember Goldberg is aware of this, we have an area that's called the Forgotten Edge. And it's called the Forgotten Edge because it seems to be in the middle of two police divisions, really three when you look at the Central Division, the Northeast Division, as well as Rampart. And it's up on the side of the hill, just above Chinatown or above Sunset Boulevard. When I first got elected to office, I went to a neighborhood watch meeting there, and it was a very active neighborhood watch meeting. You need to know that Ken served in the Navy in World War II, and he's worked in the movie industry for 42 years as an accountant. He's currently president of Jamboree Productions. In 1999, his house burned to the ground at 1056 Figueroa, and the local neighborhood basically moved him across the street to 1059 Figueroa, where he lives today. In 1995, Ken joined the Forgotten Edge Neighborhood Watch Group, and in 1997 was elected its president. Many new steps were taken in organizing the watch group. The membership to this day is 87 members, and it's people like Ken who make a difference. He knows all of his neighbors, and they all know him, and he gets involved by having the energy to get others involved. That's why he's made a difference up at the Forgotten Edge. It doesn't matter whether it's a dash system or basically what's going on at the Holy Hill Church down the street and everybody complaining about parking, or the grand opening at Eastside Market. The reality is Ken's there. And these are local citizens and local heroes who are making a difference in Los Angeles. And many times we don't get a chance to show them off, and that's why I'm doing this. And so with that, Ken Erheim, I have a certificate of tribute from the city of Los Angeles as the president of the Forgotten Edge Neighborhood Watch Group for your dedication and hard work for the community. I present it to you, Ken. And and also my Heart of Los Angeles pin. It means you make a difference. And I know George didn't say a few words. Did you want to say something to us while you got us here? George, maybe you want to say something?
I want to thank the council and all its members, and also want you to mark your calendar. It's a very important day coming up in May, and it's May 22nd, 2001. It's the first time, but the Neighborhood Watch is having a farewell party and dinner for Mike, and you're all going to be invited. It's great to see our president back in the helm, and we go back, and there's Jackie sitting over there. Jackie Goldberg was one of when she first started running for the Unified School District, we had her at our Kiwanis meeting, and we've been friends ever since. She's also been, as I was president of Hollywood Lutheran Church, she became a board member, honorary board member, and so did Mike. But with that, thank you all. And one other thing I want to say, the Forgotten Edge Neighborhood Watch supports the lead officers, and we would like to have them back. If you come up to our community, you know what lead officers are doing. Everybody knows everybody, and everybody can say hello to the police officers. Thank you.
Councilman Hernandez, I have been working with the community for the past 20 years. And I'm very happy, and it's my honor to serve the Asian community in Chinatown for the past 20 years. Today, I brought 3 clients. One of them is Rosa now, who have been serving for the past 20 years. Rosa, take a stand. Rosa has been 20 years with me. I served her for the last 20 years. There's Mrs. Kwan and Mrs. Hong. Both of them are the senior center client for over 15 years. So I just want to thank the support of the City Council, and especially my councilman Hernandez for supporting us for so long. Thank you.
Mr. President, members of the council, again, thank you for allowing me to recognize some local heroes, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Thank you. Call the roll.
Burnson, Chick, Fuhrer, Galanter, Goldberg, Hernandez, Holden, Bizikowski, Pacheco, Padilla, Ridley Thomas, Florence Wax, Walters, Ferraro, 11 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, the first order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
All right, Mr. Pacheco moves, Ms. Sikowski seconds. There's no objection, unanimous vote. Next item.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
There's no objection, unanimous vote.
Before getting to the regular agenda, Mr. President, there are a few items to be continued. Item number 9, a request from Council District 7 to continue that matter till September 29th.
If there's no objections, unanimous vote.
Item number 10, a request from Council District 6 to continue that matter until September 29th.
If there's no objection, unanimous vote.
Item number 30, request to continue that matter till September 26th.
If there's no objection, unanimous vote.
Item number 1 on the regular agenda is the appointment of Edgerton Forrester to the Martin Luther King Jr. General Hospital Authority.
Mr. Forrester, is he here?
Yes, Mr. President,
Mrs. Walters?
on item 1 and item 4, both of these gentlemen were scheduled in Arts, Health, and Humanities. One, Mr. Egerton, was out of the country, and Mr. Bartonelli was in court. They could not be present, and because of my time schedule, they were not able to meet with me before this meeting, so that's the reason you have no recommendation from committee. We waived it out of committee, so the time would not run out on them.
Now, are you familiar with Mr. Forrester, Rita?
I met him just this morning and found out that he has a relative on my staff that I didn't know about until this morning. And I had a nice conversation with him, and had he come to committee, I feel certain that I would have recommended him to the council for approval.
Okay, is there any discussion on the appointment of Mr. Forrester? None, not seeing none. Mr. Savornich moves. Any discussion? If not, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Mr. Forrester, you've been approved. We want to thank you for serving forthwith on this item.
Thank you.
Mr. President, item number 10, a request just a moment ago to continue that item on the request of Council District 6. That was a mistake. That item can go forward today.
Okay, 10 is still on the schedule.
Yes, sir.
Next item,
Item number 2 is appointment of Eric Alderette to the El Pueblo de Los Angeles Historical Monument Authority.
Good
we
morning.
have Candido Marnes wants to be heard on this.
Thank you, Mr. Farrell. I have to leave early today, but what I really wanted to speak on was to welcome you back, sir. It's nice seeing you back.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Candido. Okay, any discussion on the appointment of Mr.? Yeah,
Mr. President.
Mrs. Walters?
And I should say I'm sure every council member here this morning is delighted to not only see you back, as you came back a couple of days ago, and we saw you 2 days in a row, but today we see you in the chair, and it's very nice to have you back.
Thank you, Rita, thank you.
I asked for recognition to speak about these next two candidates.
Yeah, why don't we have Mr. Regato come up too? Is he here? Come up. We'll take 2 and 3 together.
I found no fault with either one, other than the fact that at that time, to my knowledge, there was no female on a 9-member commission. They were all males. But I've since been informed that there's one female on the commission who has since been appointed. And these two gentlemen came before me. They were both very articulate. They were clear about their reasons for wanting to serve, and one of them in particular is a history major, a history buff, and I told him I like that very much. And so I would personally welcome them to the commission and ask you to do likewise. So I move approval.
Okay, that's approval on 2 and 3. Any discussion? If not, prepare the, oh, Mrs. Goldberg?
No, actually, she said the same thing. I was worried about no women on it.
Mr. Pacheco?
Josie, don't worry about it.
I just wanted to say that when we took office, the commission was only male commissioners, and we've worked very hard in our appointments to try to get women. And of the 3 appointments we've made, one we've pushed very hard for was a female who is definitely well qualified to be one of our commissioners, and we will continue to look for diversifying the commission in terms of women and men. But as they come up, you know, they're on a rotating timetable, so we definitely consider that an important priority for that commission.
Mr. Hernandez?
Mr. President, members of the council, I had the pleasure to speaking to both of these, I guess I can say now, young men. And in speaking to them, I shared with them some of the history of the park and my involvement with the park. And I also shared with them that I saw El Pueblo as a citywide monument, a statewide monument to a large degree, and with a tremendous history. And that I really respect the role that Councilmember Pacheco has been playing there. And I think that he's extremely key to that facility. And I welcome both of them because of their backgrounds. And it's kind of with a sense of pride that I can say that one of them comes from the 1st Councilmatic District, and the other one comes from the 13th Councilmatic District. And that we need the mayor to continue to identify more individuals. I think they both had in common, though, Councilmember Nick Pacheco as someone who pushed for them. And again, I wanted to commend Councilmember Pacheco for his ability to help the mayor in finding good candidates for the commission. And again, I ask for a unanimous vote on both individuals.
Okay, prepare the roll on the 2 and 3. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
You've both been approved. We want to thank you for serving the city, and we'll send these items forthwith.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the next one.
Item number 4 is the appointment of Philip Bartonelli, and the agenda incorrectly lists the wrong commission. The correct commission is the Human Relations Commission.
Okay, Mr. Bartonelli, Mrs. Walters pointed out that he wasn't able to attend the committee meeting, but let me point out that he's been a member of what, Los Pueblo?
I was the El Pueblo year.
Yeah, for how many,
Mr. President.
how many years?
6 years.
6 years. And you were president
5 years.
5 years. Was there any discussion on this appointment? If not, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Phil, you've been approved. We want to thank you for serving the city and forthwith on this item.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay. Members, I want to point out that we will lose a quorum at 11:30, so we have to get through this business as soon as possible. So let's go through the agenda and see what...
Mr. President, items number 5 through 8 on the regular agenda are items for which public hearings have been held.
All right, is there 5 through 8, any specials by council members? Any specials? If not, prepare the roll on 5 through 8. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those are approved. Next item.
Mr. President, on the regular agenda, items number 10 through 29, those are items for which public hearings have not been held. A motion is required on item number 11 as two are on one file.
Okay, first of all, anybody want to be heard on any of those items? There's no cards.
21 is special, please.
Wait till we see about the public hearing. Seeing none, the public hearing is closed. Now we have Mrs. Walters, 21. Mrs. Chick, which one? 26. 26. Any other specials? Item 11, there's two files.
One of the communications from the Chair of the Arts, Health, Humanities Committee, that's A, and B is a communication from the Chair of the Personnel Committee.
Okay. You heard the motion. Prepare the roll on 11. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved. 10 is an ordinance, so we will not have 12 here today, so we'll withhold on that. It'll go over 1 week. So then we have 12 through 29 with the exception of 21 and 26. Prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those are approved. Forthwith on 13. Next item.
Mr. President, you also have a closed session item, item number 31, which is on the desk. Do you wish to hold that?
We'll hold it on the desk right now, yes.
Okay.
Okay, the next item.
Is the item called special, item 21, Councilmember Walters.
Mrs. Walters, you called 21 special?
She doesn't vote on OPG because she has a
Oh,
conflict.
okay.
So
Okay. Okay, Mrs. Walters cannot vote on 21, so she has left the room, so take her name off. Prepare the roll on 21. Tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
That is approved. Next item.
Mr. President, item number 26, called special by Councilmember Chick.
Mrs. Chick.
Yes, colleagues, I draw your attention to item 26, which is asking once again for a 60-day delay on the submission and approval of a CRA's budget. And if we approve this request, it will be 6 months later than the appropriate time for CRA to submit a budget for approval for the fiscal year of 2000-2001. I'd like to have someone from CRA come and address us and explain what is going on and why it is so difficult for the agency to submit a budget. And absent that explanation, I'm a no vote, and I would urge the rest of us to not approve this, although I am certainly interested to hear from the author of the motion and the chair of the committee what
Is there somebody here from the CRA?
I would request we hold this over till next week. I can't vote on something without having an
Are you from the
explanation from the
CRA?
department.
Can you answer those questions? Give your name, please.
Good morning, Randy Wilkins, Deputy for Finance and Accounting for the CRA. You're correct. This is
the third request.
There was a 60 days, then a 30, and this is the third 60 days. What has occurred is that there was a request to the H&CR committee for a joint committee with CED to review all of the block grant programs that are included in the CRA budget. That extensive review is taking place now, and until that review is completed, we are asking for another authorization to continue our operations.
And I'd also like to hear from the chair of CED committee, but
One of the, I serve on both committees. I can't speak for, obviously, for the chair on CED, but speaking for as chair of the CRA, or the Housing and Community Development Committee. As you all may know, or may not be fully briefed on, is that HUD has put an incredible amount of pressure on the city to spend all its block grant money, all its federal funds within the next year. And so what we have done is we've basically put the pressure and pushed it down to all the departments, all the projects. And we've asked the CRA, who has a substantial amount of federal block grant money, about $30 million, to tell us how they're going to spend that to comply and take us off probation with HUD. And so that has caused the secondary effect of basically putting them behind the timetable for delivering the budget, because they're trying to work that out and reallocate and reprioritize so that they can spend these federal funds first so we can get off of HUD's probation
well, and
list.
that seems like a worthwhile cause, but is separate and apart from that, Mr. Pacheco, and I would pose the question also to our CRA staff, the budget was ready to come into council, and it's only this that's delayed it?
Well, we haven't made our presentation to H&CR yet at the request of the joint committee. But yes, we are ready to give the presentation. And I would like to point out that we are working with the task force on the complete review of the block grant, and we're working with them. That's coming very shortly.
Okay, I would just point out that I've been informed by my district office staff that there's something from the CRA going to committee next week about staffing of projects, moving staff around, that I am going to be adamantly opposing, particularly in light of the fact that we don't have a budget in front of us yet to understand who's doing what and what staff shortages might be. And I would ask you to relay that to Mr. Sharlin.
I will do so.
And I will reassure Ms. Chick and anyone who has a CRA project that as long as they continue to desire the CRA staff working with their offices, because I know there are some council members who are in a different position, as long as they desire that staff to work with their offices, we will make sure that every effort is made to service your constituents and deliver the projects that you've been working on for so long.
Thank you.
Okay, what is the motion? To continue?
Motion is to extend the
Continue
timeline for receiving the budget 60 days.
Okay, prepare the roll on that. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is approved. Next item, Mr. Savornich, do you have a presentation? Mr. Savornich was nice enough to delay his presentation to get through the agenda.
Thanks, Mr. President. Good morning, Mr. President, members of the council. Today we have a very special presentation that only comes along every 100 years. With us today, Velma Lewis is just celebrated her 100th birthday, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about Velma and her trek of 100 years. She was born on September 8th, 1900. She is currently a Californian by way of Colorado and Washington. She has a daughter, Adele LaRue, a son, Clyde Lewis Lowe, a host of grandchildren, nieces, nephews, great-grandchildren, great-nieces, great-nephews, and even great-great-grandchildren. She has been retired now for many years, but has remained active in our Watts community. She is a member of the Greater New Light Missionary Baptist Church. Her pastor is Reverend Walter Washington, Jr. The Lord has so graciously allowed her to live 100 years. At her church, she was a loyal, that deserves a round of applause. At her church, she is a loyal and dedicated choir member for many years until illness would not let her to perform to her full capacity, but she still attends. With her inner beauty and spirituality, she keeps God first. She is a member of the Florence Firestone Advisory Council and an active member in the Florence Firestone Service Center Social Club. She is an honorary member of the Watts Advisory Council, known as CDAC for Community Development. Her hobbies include sewing, crocheting, cooking, and washing dishes. At 100 years young, Mrs. Velma Lewis is the constant companion of her daughter Adele, and they attend most community meetings together. She is appreciative of all the good things that people do for her. Her motto is, treat everybody right and look up to God. Mr. President, members of the council, let us truly honor a great lady of the city of Los Angeles and our community of Watts as she celebrates her 100th birthday.
They know my name on them. Tell them your name. Now, my name is Velma Lewis, 211 East 92nd Street. And I'm so proud of you all inviting me here today. So I don't much know what to say. There's so many people here, I don't know what to say. But anyway, that's my name, Velma Lewis. And I'm from Texas.
And I'm the son, Clyde Lewis, and I think I would be remiss if I didn't take advantage of the opportunity to speak to you, especially Mr. Savanovich from the great 15th District. We want to thank you very much, my sister and I, for inviting us and commemorating my mother on this occasion. To live up to be 100 years old, I just hope some of the, hope it passes on to my sister and I. So, thank you very, very much.
Take this with me.
I would just like to say thank you very much for this occasion here. And it's so precious and gracious that we can see you today here. We hear about you, look at you in the paper and radio and TV and everything. Now we see you. And we know you love us and we love you. And our councilman here is one of the greatest. And another young lady, she's standing back here somewhere here. She's done all the good things for us today. And then another one that's standing 10 feet tall back. She helped us also. We could not have really made it unless you made it possible for us. And we want to thank you and thank God for letting my mother be here this 100 years, and you are able to see her. Now just think about us, pray for us that we'll continue all the good things. And take care of my councilman over here, take care of her deputy over here. And thank you very much. And my friend Mary Alice, they go around with us. And we know some of you too. So we thank you. You know, I could talk all day about this.
Thank you, Mr. President, members.
Thank you, Mr. Savarnich, and happy birthday to that lovely lady who's going to be 100 years old. Okay, the next item.
Mr. President, special number 1 brought in today pursuant to Council Rule 23. That's a Miskowski-Savornich motion. Findings need to be made.
Okay, first of all, we got to vote on the findings. Any discussion on the findings? If not, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That's approved. The findings are approved. Now the matter is before us. Ms. Miskowski.
President, This matter is dealing with a report that I think is appropriate to be brought to council because of the urgent nature, and I have here with us today from the Department of Transportation, Tom Drischler and James Lefton. And members, as we all know, the strike, the MTA strike, has created an incredible hardship on hundreds of thousands of citizens in the city and in the greater LA area. And there have been many who are jumping in to help, to provide assistance, to provide alternatives. And one of the things that has occurred that normally is something that the city needs to govern and deal with is the issue of appropriate alternative transportation. In this instance, what we have seen is folks jumping in and what would be normally referred to as bandit cabs or gypsy cabs. But it is showing a need that is out there. I'd like to have the department address what they're doing, how they're handling it, how they're handling other alternatives, and how they are providing information to the citizens about their own safety, the precautions that they should be taking, what should be done. And then beyond that, this motion asks for the Department of Transportation to report back to us through the Transportation Committee about filling a gap of an alternative transportation mode that can be in place for long into the future. I think we are seeing that there is potentially a need for the things called jitneys, short service in a local area. And so I would like to at this time ask the Department of Transportation, Tom Drischler and James Lefton, to give us a report about what the current status is with DOT, how you are handling those things that are under your purview and responsibility.
Well, Councilmember, we've had quite a few contacts with the media the last few days addressing these topics that you mentioned, and it is a very difficult situation. We are entrusted with the duty to enforce our transportation laws in this city, which includes maintaining basic standards for transportation services, which includes having permitted operators, operators who have proven that they have insurance, whose vehicles have been inspected. We, of course, mandate that we know the criminal the criminal history of anyone who applies for a permit, their driving record. These are just basic standards that everyone in the city is entitled to expect among the transportation providers. But under these circumstances, it's an extremely difficult situation. We had a situation over in the vicinity of Alvarado and Wilshire a couple of days ago in which our investigators, just doing their job that they are sworn to do, were put in harm's way, basically because the public didn't want them to do their job to arrest illegal transportation providers because the public has no alternative at this time. And that's an extremely difficult situation. When I've spoken to the media in recent days, I've told them that we're aware of the straits that people are in. We've got about 500,000 people with really no alternatives right now. And we just say, rider beware. Because, basically, when you're getting into one of these illegal jitneys, if you will, you might as well be hitchhiking, because you don't know what you're getting. Folks are getting into these vans and, whatever vehicles are out there that are transporting them, they're being crowded. We don't know the extent to which they may or may not be getting gouged or what other kinds of disservices they're subjected to. So it's very alarming. And then on the other hand, we currently have 4 transportation investigators dedicated full-time to bandit taxicab enforcement in the city. We've recently hired some additional clerical folks that will allow us to dedicate an additional 5 investigators to put out in the field. But just the numbers, the sheer numbers of the non-licensed operators that have just cropped up in the last week is still tremendously overwhelming for us. We know that there's hundreds of them, 400 or 500, perhaps more than that. So it's a difficult situation.
Is there anything that you can be doing at this time in terms of working with the media to put information out there as to some basic safeguards, basic concerns, basic questions that people might want to consider as they are going to take some of these alternatives, as well as I say, really looking more towards the future to see where or not, whether in an emergency situation or elsewise, we could look to allow some kind of temporary process where both short-term and long-term we can be looking to explore a more permanent jitney operation.
With regard to the issue of the jitney type operation, that's something that we do need to go back and think about. It's a very complex issue, obviously, and with regard to what we're doing today, the department has a transit program with about 400 vehicles out on the street, and we're doing everything that we can to expand the levels of service that we currently operate. Our dash services are running later hours and Sunday service. Our commuter express services are operating throughout the day. We're honoring MTA bus passes on all of our services. But obviously, given that 2,000 MTA buses are sitting idle, it's just a tip of the iceberg of the problem that we're dealing with. So we need to think about more creative solutions. Back in 1994, when the last MTA strike occurred, there was quite a bit more service out on the street. MTA was able to operate the rail line, to operate their buses using administrative staff, to contract out with private operators to run service. So we had a much higher level of service out on the street, and I think it was envisioned that we would be able to replicate that into this strike, but because of a variety of labor issues, they were not able to put that level of service out this time. So we can't count on some of our strategies that we've used in the past to successfully put out service during a strike. So I think we need to think about new strategies for the next strike that could put us in a better position to handle the problem, and we would very much like to give that some thought and report back to a committee on that issue.
Mr. Savarnich?
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the council, I was happy to second this motion as Chair of Transportation for Councilwoman Misikowski. I think it brings up some interesting points that need to be addressed not only today because of the urgency with the ongoing MTA strike, but greater public policy issues that we have agreed should come back to committee in regards to taking a look at some of the bandit cabs that are currently preying on some of those folks that find themselves stranded. And I find it rather humorous that over the course of the last few days in the press, they've been referred to as gypsy cabs, where heretofore this city has been referring to them as bandit cabs. But one of the things to which I think we all have to realize is that they're filling a void right now in the transportation system of the city of Los Angeles, and no matter what we choose to call them, right now they're providing a service that's needed in the city, even though that service is being operated illegally. One of the things as we are moving forward to authorizing the refranchises for the city, which should be coming out sometime at the end of October, mid-November. At that time, I think we will also be taking a look at, or shortly thereafter, whether or not the amount of medallions or the amount of permits that we have are sufficient to service all parts of the city. And more importantly, I do believe that just because now we find ourselves in a very serious transportation crisis in the city of Los Angeles, that we should not back away from the enforcement mechanisms against the bandits that we have seen some progress made in the last few years. I think everyone has to understand, and staff can correct me, that there are only 4 bandit enforcement inspectors in the entire city of Los Angeles. And until we can get some cooperation from the Los Angeles Police Department in regards to helping us with the enforcement of these bandit operators that take revenue away from the city, that we are not going to be able to cover a lot of ground with 4 inspectors in the entire city of Los Angeles. But there has been a reluctance from Parker Center to assist the Department of Transportation, feeling that this is not high enough of a crime or not high enough in the pecking order of problems in the city to enforce. But it does cost us millions of dollars a year because of these operations. Also, I think that the broaching of a jitney service in the city is something that can be explored by the Transportation Committee. But I do think because of where we find ourselves today, because of the MTA strike, that this motion is appropriate, and I would concur and ask for a unanimous vote.
Mr. Hernandez?
Could you describe a little bit more about the incident on Wilshire and Alvarado? Because my office got a phone call, I guess yesterday morning or this morning, regarding that. What exactly happened?
With the onset of the strike, we've been contacted by media, and we had numerous requests for them to ride along or to film our transportation investigators in action, which is something that we do on a routine basis from time to time.
With the media?
With the media. As we feel it's beneficial to get the word out that we're here, we're doing our jobs, and that the public...
So you're going to Wilshire and Alvarado, and I'm assuming you took Spanish language media with you?
This was Channel 7.
Oh, were you trying to embarrass the community?
We've
or?
been in touch with Spanish language media, but not in this instance.
Okay, so just continue to describe what happened, because you went in there.
Our investigators went to the scene and found an illegal operator.
That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, that has nothing to do with the bus strike. If you went in there any time, you'd probably find illegal taxi cabs.
Right.
Go on.
And in the process of effecting the arrest, they put the suspect in a vehicle. He was handcuffed, and a group of people started to gather and voice their displeasure with the arrest that was taking place.
Now, did that group of people, the reason I'm asking the question, my understanding is there was 2 African-American investigators who went into Wilshire and Alvarado, and the crowd that surrounded them was Latino. They witnessed these investigators making arrests, taking someone into a vehicle who they felt was trying to help them, give them a ride, and they started yelling a lot of profanities.
Who did, sir?
The community, the people around there.
They were vociferous, I know that. I wasn't on the scene.
Now, part of what I wanted to point out was some sensitivity issues, because I think, I don't like the community of Pico Union being used. And I continue to deal with issues such as that's the highest area of people who are transit dependent. I mean, they have to get to work. We as a city tend to not recognize the reality of the language difficulties. And that's where we go when we want to publicize something, but we're not communicating to that community. From my perspective, I would have liked to have had Spanish language media communicating to that community the reality of the dangers of these entities. Now, it had nothing to do with the investigators being African American, but my understanding of the report that came to my office stated that to me. And I wanted to understand from the department what that perspective was, because it came from your department. And so people felt some outsiders were coming in. And I have a concern about that, because we have to be more sensitive in communities. But I think that if Spanish language media would have been there, it would have made a tremendous difference. If we were trying to do a dog and pony show, I think that it backfired on you, and it became a dangerous situation. And it just showed a lack of sensitivity.
Thank you. Mr. Holden?
Right, I had a little press conference over at Pico Boulevard and West Boulevard the other day at the turnaround, and they had the blue bus coming in there, and people were getting off the blue bus and jumping into these various automobiles, really congesting the traffic, blocking the street, making U-turns at the traffic signal, violating almost every traffic law in the book. The police came out with about 5 cars, and then they settled down. But that wasn't the real problem, Mr. Hernandez. The real problem there is that you had kids from school, high school, senior citizens getting into these vehicles, and we can't sanction anything like that. And the reason why is because you just don't know who they're riding with. And some of these people are doing a job, making extra money, providing a service where there's no service being provided at this time. But I think you're not, in a too distant future, going to hear that some young female got into somebody's cab, or somebody's car, or took a ride from a stranger, And then, of course, the problem develops. We can't sanction it. You almost have to enforce it because you'll be sued by saying you knew it was going on and you didn't make any effort to enforce the law. That's what's going to eventually happen to some of these young girls. And I said to them, you got to be careful who you're getting in the car with.
Councilman, there's already outstanding cases from where bandit taxi cab operators were suspects in sexual assaults just this year.
I think this is, with this strike going on, that number is going to increase based on just what I saw. The police had to come out, and they were concerned, and they were, Hispanic police officers, right across the board. They represented the entire community. That is a real danger. That's what I saw, and I thought safety is going to be a big factor for seniors and for young girls and other individuals getting into these automobiles. They got to be very cautious. A lot of their parents tell them, don't ride with strangers, and that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah. No, it's very difficult, sir. In many instances, the vehicles don't even have seats. They're just packing people in.
Discussion on special one? If not, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
That is approved forthwith on that. I want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Next item.
Mr. President, Special 2 has been distributed. Findings need to be made by the mover of the motion.
What is special 2?
We don't have it.
You did have it.
2? No.
Gail gave it.
Special 2 is a bill that was recently passed by the Senate, and it's sitting on the governor's desk. It would require a transportation zone created after January 1st, 1999 to assume all obligations and liabilities of existing collective bargaining agreements of the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Association.
Mr. Wax, you want to talk on the findings?
Yes, on the findings. Mr. President, members of council, this is a highly controversial bill. Many people oppose it, particularly in the San Fernando Valley, VICA, and others. It was passed several weeks ago. There is no way you could legally make the findings to bring this in as a special. It was passed weeks ago. It's been public record. It's sitting on the governor's desk. He has until the 30th of September to sign it. It is a matter of importance, and if we were to discuss this, the Brown Act requires, and the spirit of the law is that people on both sides would be able to be here and discuss it. You should be a Rule 16, Mr. Holden. Irrespective of our views on it, it's a Rule 16 thing, and you can't bring something like this in and not allow the other side to have an opportunity to participate. That violates the rules on specials. So if we make it a Rule 16, we can discuss it on Tuesday, that's fine.
Well, if you can do it on Tuesday, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, no, it's fine with me. I mean, I'm against it and you're for it, but the point of it is, let all the sides have an opportunity to participate. So Tuesday would be fine.
I have no problem with Tuesday. It just so happens he had Friday, Saturday. He probably won't sign any bills over the weekend, I'm not sure, or sign or reject. I learned about it just yesterday, Mr. Wax, and a lot of your friends were out there at a rally. And what actually happened was that they were saying they would like for the governor to sign this bill that's on his desk, SB 1101 by Murray. And I said, well, fine. This matter came before my committee some time ago, and it moved out of my committee and moved to the Transportation Committee. And I'm sure Mr. Savornich, who's a friend of labor, someone on this, one of those consultants probably overlooked it, but he signed it and is not before us. He's got aspirations and looks like he's doing pretty good. So if we can schedule it for Tuesday, I have no problem with that.
Yes, if we do it immediately.
Well, thank you.
Mr. Hernandez, do you want to be heard?
I wanted to rise because I don't know why the not signing of this bill, from my perspective, jeopardizes the whole Valley Transit Zone. This council already debated the issue that you can't have two systems of basically of organizing for the valley from the one from the city. I mean, if the reality is this strike alone has proven why you can't have that going on in the city of LA. Again, it would be treating citizens in the valley different from citizens in the inner city. And so we've already dialogued that on several occasions, and that was one of the conditions of my support of the Valley Transit Authority when it was going to committee. I could have killed it then, and I had the power to kill it then, Mr. Wax. I was sitting in a position to kill it then.
Point of order, Mr. Hernandez. We can argue the merits on Tuesday, because now we haven't made the findings to
No, but Mr.
negotiate.
Wax, there's only so many days left, and I'm trying to preserve the valley's right to go through a process, and you're trying to kill it now.
I'm trying to obey the law that says you don't bring in specials
No, but
unless
you're-
there's an emergency. And there are two sides to the
Well,
story.
Mr. Wax, again, it's your
So let's,
political agenda.
wait a minute, we're going to send it to Rule 16, so it'll be in on Tuesday. So the next item. The next item is...
Mr. President, the item closed session, item number 31 is before you.
Again, I want to remind you that we may lose a quorum at 11:30, so...
Mr. President,
What, Mr. Alden?
I know you did that in the next item, but I think it's important for you and the members of the council to know that when they were speaking yesterday, and this is good information, they said if this bill were signed by the governor, the strike would end in a couple of days.
Well-
I think that's important.
Well, I think those people ought to contact the governor's office.
I know we all need to contact the
Yeah.
governor's office for the good of the city, and I'm sure that's where your head's at also.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr.
Okay, the
President?
next item.
I haven't had an argument since you left.
Mr. President?
Oh, the wonderful feeling of being home again.
Mr. President, before we drive you out of here, I have a request. On the closed session item, we have the Santa Monica Baykeeper here. This has been continued several times. He's had to come and go. I would ask that we allow him to speak now before we recess into closed session, because we're going to lose a quorum in a moment.
Okay.
Would you do that?
We have Stephen Flesh, is it?
Yes.
It's Fleshley.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning, members of the council. My name is Steve Flashley. I'm the executive director of the Santa Monica Baykeeper. Thanks especially to Councilmember Mike Fuhr for allowing this to happen despite repeated attempts to schedule this. Unfortunately, this is probably a very uncomfortable subject for most people, and this week in particular, it's probably excessively uncomfortable, given the fact that I want to talk about federal litigation with you right now. It's also quite difficult because this is a public forum, and we are talking about fairly sensitive matters that I know you will be talking about in closed session later. But for the record, I wanted to make you aware of some issues so that you're not caught off guard, because I know there are some council members who've had a long-standing issue or a long-standing concern with this issue, and I don't want you to be caught off guard or by surprise. This case, Santa Monica Baykeeper sued the city of Los Angeles in the fall of 1998 for sewage spills into local communities, into our rivers, and into our bay. For 2 years now, we've been in litigation, but the court has stayed that litigation, hoping that we can resolve this through negotiation. So we've been meeting with the city attorney's office and with the Bureau of Sanitation for a little over a year now. And unfortunately, we haven't moved much. The reason I'm here today is because I want to tell you that after all of this time, the Santa Monica Baykeeper no longer has any interest whatsoever in negotiating solely with the city attorney's office and the Bureau of Sanitation. Quite frankly, it has been an absolute waste of time in resolving this litigation. For this reason, on Wednesday of this week, we requested that the court allow the litigation to proceed. We'll be having a status conference with the judge on September 27th. It is my hope that if the city has any interest in resolving this litigation, that it will take leadership by this council, some creativity by this council, to help us get over the impasse that we are presently in at this time. I have brought for you today a proposed settlement agreement for you to read through. I know that's something you probably don't care to hear about at this point in time, but when you go into closed session, I think you'll probably hear a lot of things about the Santa Monica Baykeepers being unreasonable, that our interpretation of the law is incorrect, that we have no right to be in federal court, issues relating to that. And I wanted to make sure that the council was fully informed of what our true position really is in this case. And I don't want to get into it on the record because it is a settlement communication. But I think when you look through this document, you'll see we're not being extreme. We're not being unreasonable. We have no intentions of being unreasonable. We just want the sewage spills to stop. The Federal Clean Water Act says that you may not discharge to the waters of the United States without a permit. The permit that you have does not allow you to spill sewage, whether it's wet weather or dry weather, to our waters. They will tell you in closed session today, most likely, that this is not a problem. It's a problem that they have under control right now. They are under order from the Regional Water Quality Control Board to take certain upgrades in the system. We do not believe that those upgrades will completely resolve the problem. And in addition, during dry weather, there is a spill on average once a day in the city of Los Angeles. I don't think they will dispute that. So I want to hand out this proposed settlement agreement for you to read through. And if you have an interest in resolving this, I would love to hear from you on any occasion. Again, we will tell the judge that we have no interest in meeting solely with the City Attorney's Office and the Bureau of Sanitation from this point forward. The bottom line for you to know, though, is, and I think many of you know this, the City of Los Angeles must comply with the Federal Water Pollution Control Act. And by any legal means necessary, the Santa Monica Baykeeper intends to make that happen, and this is our highest priority. Thank you for your time.
Okay, the public hearing is closed on item 31. We'll hold that on the desk. Next item.
Now it's time for public comment on non-agenda items.
Is there anyone in the audience who wants to be heard on public comment? Or you don't have any cards? Seeing none, the public hearing is closed.
Item number 31 is before you, closed session item.
Okay, we're going to go into an executive session, so would everyone leave that's not involved with the executive session? In the meantime, let's clear the desk.
Motions for posting and referral.
If there's no objections, unanimous vote.
Request from council excuse. Councilmember Pacheco requests to be excused on Tuesday, October 17th to arrive at 10:45 for city business. This meets policy.
A unanimous vote.
Councilmember Padilla requests to be excused on Wednesday, September 27th for city business. A motion is required.
All right, Ms. Sikowski moves per unanimous vote.
The desk is clear, except for item number 31.
Okay. We're going to go into executive session just as soon as we have the room cleared. If we could get Nate, Jackie, we could get Nate's attorney.
Mr. President, you're back.
Okay, we're back in session. Any discussion, any more things on the desk?
The desk is clear.
The desk is clear. Any adjourning motions? Mr. Wax?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like the council to adjourn in the memory of William F. Grubbs, who is a longtime prominent member of the community and the the husband of Vicki Birch, who volunteered in my Tahunga field office for quite some time, and I'll give the clerk the pertinent information.
I'd ask we adjourn in memory of Bob Abel, who passed away. Bob was an auctioneer who dealt with fine art.
Yeah.
And he was very active in the community. He was on the board of trustees of the Loyola Marymount University and did a lot of community work, and I'd ask we adjourn in his memory.
President,
Mr. Holden?
I said to announce that we asked to adjourn in memory of Thea D. Hall. Ms. Hall was a practicing midwife and healer, committed to assisting members of her community. She helped a lot of people who couldn't afford so-called standard health care. She also held 2 master's degrees, a master's in science and a master's in midwifery from Charles Drew Medical University. She will be missed by her son, numerous siblings, and her mother, Mrs. Helen Hall, so she'll be missed. She's helped a lot of people during her lifetime.
Call the roll. Aye. Council is adjourned.
You are watching LA City View, Channel 35. Your city, your channel.
We now join our scheduled program in progress.